A warm welcome to TV Africa News and thank you for joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najuma Luima, but first are the headlines. President Museveni takes oath for a sixth elective term. Over 12 African presidents witness Museveni's swearing-in. Army and police tighten security in the city during the swearing-in. A warm welcome once again. Now the news in detail. Over 12 African heads of state arrived in Uganda Tuesday and Wednesday to witness the swearing-in ceremony of President Yoweri Museveni, who has been sworn in today. They include Evariste Ndayishimiye from Burundi, Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed from Somalia, Emmerson Mnangagwa from Zimbabwe, Salva Kiir from South Sudan, Hage Gottfried from Namibia, and Alpha Conde from Guinea. Others are Salewak Zewedi from the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Felix Tshisekedi from Democratic Republic of Congo, Nana Addo Akufo from Ghana, Samia Suluhu Hassan from Tanzania, and Uhuru Kenyatta from Kenya, who arrived at Entebbe on Wednesday. The presidents were received by Uganda State Minister for Foreign Affairs Henry Olyem Okello at Entebbe Airport. On Tuesday evening, President Museveni treated his counterparts to a state dinner at Peak Resort Hotel, Munyunyu. Mr. Museveni was declared winner of the January elections with 58% of the votes cast, while his closest contender, musician turned politician, Mr. Robert Chagulanyi alias Bobby Wine, got 35% according to the Electoral Commission. The city of Kampala and surrounding areas are currently surrounded by security operatives as a preventive measure following intelligence information that some members of the opposition were allegedly planning to disrupt the swearing-in ceremony. Let's take a look. Police and the army also said there was heightened security in Kampala and surrounding areas to contain any criminal activities and to ensure Mr. Museveni's swearing-in a success as he embarks on another term to mark 4 decades in power. Relatedly, police spokesperson Mr. Fred Enanga said the force had taken a deliberate decision to enhance their enforcement measures of motorists outside the essential category who fail to comply with curfew hours. Additional sanctions will include arrests, fines, and penalties irrespective of whether you are a driver, rider, passenger, or occupant. Enanga said in a statement issued Tuesday afternoon that all proprietors of fuel stations who continue to park motor vehicles and motorcycles will be subjected to further investigations on parking authorizations as they arrange to impound all motor vehicles and motorcycles parked at respective fuel stations. Moving on, police and army yesterday evening carried out an operation where most border riders were arrested for working and passing through curfew time, which was directed. Many people were seen moving on foot in order to reach their homes. However, they said it was unfair. Let's take a look. Sekasi Ivan, a taxi driver who works on Ginger Road Mukono Center stage, says they have been affected by the inauguration because people fear to step in town due to security deployment. Akaya Muluya, a border rider at Mapela stage on Ginger Road, commented on the later release by police on the intensification of targeted operations on motorists violating curfew was not fair because it caught them unaware. They requested the president to extend curfew for border riders.
Amanya gange nze Sekasi Ivan nga ndi muvuzi wa taxi. Okulayira kwa president kuno eno kututaataaganyiza mirimu gyaffe okuba kati nga woolabira wano ffe tukolera wano eno ku luguudo lwa Jinja Road, tukolera ku stage ya Mukono Seeta Mukono, naye abantu baatidde okujja mu kibuga okukola emirimu gyabwe era amakubo makalu ddala, amakubo amalala masibe. Kale kwegamba ku kintu ekyabaddewo eggulo jjo ng'abantu abakwata kafiyu n'abasirikale abangi ku luguudo amagye kyaleetedde abantu okutya okwejja mu kibuga.
Ngenda kukyogerako nga nkisaba poliisi, ngenda kukyogerako nga nkisaba omukulembeze w'eggwanga yateekawo amateeka ga kafyu. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga asobola okwekuba mu mutima n'ayongezayo kafyu w'ababooda. Tukeera ku makya ne tuvuga abasaabaze ne tubaleeta mu tawuni, ne tubaleeta ku ssaawa okuva ku ssaawa emu paka ku ssaawa 5 ez'emisana. Ne tutuula ku stages nga tulinda abasaabaze tubatwale tubazeeyo gye twabajja oba tubatwale ewaka. Naye akaseera ako ke tumala okuva ku ssaawa 5 okutuuka ku ssaawa 12 ddala mu butuufu tuba ku stage nga tutudde. Ssaawa ziri 12 abasaabaze baba tebannanyuka, era automatically tuba tugenda kuvuga piki nkalu tuzizeeyo nga tetulina kye tugenda kuliisa bantu baffe. Okulayira kwa President tekwandi tuteteganyiza olunaku luno olwaleero, naye kwatuteteganyizaamu olunaku lwajjo. Olunaku lw'eggulo baatusuddeko kibaluwa kibakuntumye nga tetukitegeddeeko musango gwe twaziza. Twakedde ku makya kujja mu tawuni kukola, ne tuvuga abasaabaze baffe ne tubaleeta, naye ne batatubuulira nti ssaawa bwezi temunyuke, wabula twalabidde awo nga pikipiki zaffe bazikutte ne bazitwala ku poliisi.
Is Kampala Road, a road that is known of having a lot of jam, but there is not a lot of jam today due to the inaugurations. As it is known, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is going to be swearing in today, the 12th of May 2021. We have shared with the cyclists and they have told us how they have been affected by this day. As you see, there are not a lot of people in town. There is a lot of security deployed to ensure peace and calmness. Reporting for TV Africa News, Nahabwe Kajura.
Let's take a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. A hard task awaits the new governor for the North Kivu province in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. General Ndima Nkongba Constant, who was expected in the country 5 days ago, touched down at the Goma airport on Monday.
Upon landing on the DRC soil, the new North Kivu governor, General Nkongba Constant, said he would begin by getting a first-hand feel of the security situation in the region. The new governor said that he will organize open days to talk to some people, starting with students, armed forces, the international community, and then with all sectors of the population to find solutions to the country's problems. Professor Joseph Chitaganya, a Goma resident, said that he wants to see some concrete action that requires the support of all. The outgoing governor, Karin Zanzu Kasivita, thanked the people of Goma for their support and urged locals to cooperate with the new governor to ensure lasting peace in the region.
Authorities in Ethiopia have denied the killing of civilians in the war-hit northern region of Tigray, emphasizing that those who were killed were soldiers and fighters involved in the crossfire. Let's take a look.
Speaking to journalists on Monday, Ethiopia's Deputy Attorney General Fikadu said that a great majority of those killed in November massacre were fighters and non-civilians. Fikadu Sega said that it was established that the great majority of those killed in the said incident, though they were not in uniform, were members of the fighting force of TPLF who engaged the Eritrean forces. He added that the TPLF forces later went back to the city and attacked civilians in the streets where 93 individuals were killed due to the fighting, according to investigations. According to Amnesty, Eritrean troops went on a rampage and systematically killed hundreds of civilians in cold blood.
Away from that, hundreds of migrants were waiting to be transferred from the tiny Italian island of Lampedusa on Tuesday after more than 2,000 migrants reached Lampedusa between Sunday and Monday and are being watched by Italian state police and military personnel.
According to Salvatore Martello, the mayor of Lampedusa Island, 800 immigrants were ready to be transferred on board an unused passenger ferry dispatched to Lampedusa on Monday night for quarantine, but rough seas and wind have so far prevented the ferry from docking at the small port of the island. The mayor said the 800 ready to leave have already been tested for COVID-19, but they will spend 10 days on the ferry. The latest arrivals on Lampedusa, a 20 square kilometer island closer to northern Africa than to the Italian mainland, was the biggest number of immigrants to come ashore in a single day at an Italian port this year. This year's arrivals have already topped by far the number of migrants arriving via sea in the same period in each of the past years.
A high-end office block in Myanmar linked to the country's military leaders is seeing an exodus of international organizations, including Coca-Cola, the World Bank, the United Nations, citing business prospects.
According to information obtained by TV Africa, 6 of the companies have said they have moved out or are reviewing their plans, but only one mentioned the military link, where other firms cited various reasons, including business prospects. In a statement via email, Coca-Cola said that it would not renew its lease when it ends in the middle of the new month due to changing business requirements. A spokesperson for the World Bank Group, which also had an office in the complex, said that it was assessing the situation in Myanmar according to internal policies and procedures. Norway state-owned telecoms operator Telenor said it had known that the military owned the land Sule Square is built on before it moved in, but it had picked the location due to a number of reasons, including safety.
Let's once again take a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, a 923 meters road and rail bridge linking Botswana and Zambia was inaugurated on Monday, marking the completion of a multi-million-dollar project aimed at easing congestion at border crossings throughout the southern African region.
Zambia's President Edgar Lungu said at the ribbon-cutting ceremony, anticipating an increase in trade and competitiveness, job creation, tourism and other positive ripple effects, that the project will lower the cost of doing business. Construction of the $259 million project began in December 2014, co-funded by the African Development Bank, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, regional governments and other grants, including Namibia and Zimbabwe, who joined the consortium in 2018. The bridge will facilitate intra-regional freight transport by allowing trucks to bypass the notorious Beit Bridge border between Zimbabwe and South Africa, which is perennially congested with vehicles spending hours and sometimes days queuing to cross. At Monday's ceremony, Botswana's President Mokwesi Masisi said the bridge would open avenues for improved trade, while Zimbabwe's leader Emmerson Mnangagwa hailed what he called a milestone achievement for the region. The current leader of the African Union and the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, also attended the event.
In In our health news today, the Democratic Republic of Congo confirmed the presence of the Indian coronavirus strain on its territory, as 5 cases of the variant have been reported in Kinshasa. Nonetheless, the Minister of Health, Jean-Jacques Mbungani Mbada, urges the Congolese to remain calm.
In an emergency online meeting held on Saturday to discuss the COVID-19 vaccine gap by African Union health ministers, Cameroonian virologist John Nkengasong, director of African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said that the vaccine situation is extremely complex now because of the situation in India. After sending more than 60 million doses abroad, India announced at the end of March that it was delaying overseas supplies as it works to meet its own needs. Among the 25 positive cases reported in the DRC, there are 5 Indian variants, the result of a double mutation of the British variant and the South African variant. In the meantime, the country announced at the end of April that it had deployed 1.3 million surplus AstraZeneca vaccines to 5 neighboring countries after the health minister admitted that some sections of the population had simply refused to have the jab. Often dubbed the world's pharmacy, India is one of the biggest suppliers of the AstraZeneca vaccine under the COVAX program to help immunization in poorer countries.
In our sports news today, the former head of World Athletics, Lamine Diack, who was sentenced by a French court to 4 years in prison for corruption charges, returned to Senegal on Tuesday, according to his family. Katende reports.
The 87-year-old Lamine Diack, who led the International Association of Athletics Federation, now renamed World Athletics from 1999 to 2015, was found guilty in September of corruption in covering up Russian doping cases and was sentenced to 4 years in prison, of which 2 years were suspended and fined 500,000 euros, which has appealed. The 87-year-old Lamine Diack, who led the International Association of Athletics Federation, now renamed World Athletics from 1999 to 2015, was found guilty in September of corruption in covering up Russian doping cases and was sentenced to 4 years in prison, of which 2 years were suspended and fined 500,000 euros, which he has appealed. At the time, the presiding judge in court in Paris, Rose-Marie Honnold, said Diack was unlikely to go to jail. Diack was being held in France because of his indictment in a second case involving suspected Olympic vote buying, and his passport had been confiscated. Senegalese Premier League side, where Diack was the club president, raised the money to pay the bond. Diack's family member who spoke to the media said that the former athletics boss had not returned home since 2015.
Now, before we end our news bulletin today, let's take a recap of our top stories. President Museveni takes oath for a 6th elective term. Over 12 African presidents witnessed Museveni's swearing-in. Army and police tighten security in the city during the swearing-in. That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned. More programming coming your way.
This is Africa, and that was the news.